Hello everybody, I hope you're all doing well. All of these weekends come and go so darn fast, there's just no time to really do anything, to be real honest. I try to get these videos and make them, but there's just no time. But today, I'm going to try to make that a little different. We're going to see how many things I can get done today, whether it be little projects I've been thinking about, or just things that I should have done a little while ago. Nothing that's been sitting that is critical, just odds and ends. So, what are some of the things that I'm thinking about? Well, one of the things is over here, outside, there's an old light that is totally broken, and I just haven't done anything about it because, I don't know, just haven't. But I have everything to fix it, and what I want to do, actually, is use, it's behind these. Anyway, it's those white floodlight fixtures with the things on them, like this thing right here. That's what I want to put up, because it doesn't even have an electrical box out there. It's literally just a fixture screwed to the wall with wires. Obviously that's a problem. So I'd like to do that. A thing that I talked about last weekend but didn't do, I want to move this light over to that side and put together this shop light and put it up over here. And then one thing that has been on my mind is this wall. And what about this wall? Well, I think I want to get rid of it. Just to open it up in here more. You know, it's probably not even like permitted to even be here, because I think they wanted to make it like a room to live in, because they had like a heater plugged in there and everything. And I'm sure the construction of it, just like the wall that was originally here, is pretty terrible. But the one wall that I do want to keep in place is this one. Just to separate the two areas, the workout area and this area here. And obviously it's not perfect. You can see there, but it's some type of a place to divide it, and it gives a spot to store things, looking a little more natural than just you know, sitting in the middle of a room. Obviously this doorway is here. Really, if I got rid of it, it wouldn't gain much. You'd get about, you know, 6 more inches. You know, it's just not worth it. But, you know, we'll see what happens if I do decide to take this down. And I'm slowly leaning towards that here a little bit more. I think one thing that I want to do is just take these drywall pieces down and see what's behind it. If they put insulation in there. Because I think this wall used to have drywall as well, but I took it down so you could see the studs to hang stuff. And it had that thin insulation that you can see here up there, or in the wall. And yeah, I think they're really trying to insulate this so that it could be used as a room or something. And I really just want this to be a garage. So yeah, that's that idea. One thing that I did do last weekend that I don't know if I shared, and I apologize if I do or did, but I put a chain on this door here. There should be a spring or something naturally. That would be a good thing to put on there, but I don't think you'd be swinging this open too fast. Just so it didn't, or does not hit this bulb here. Obviously that wouldn't be too good. So obviously in here, one of the nice things is there's a window. And I'd love to have a window in the garage, you know, to get airflow and stuff. So yet another reason for this wall to just go bye-bye. And my friend and roommate has gotten more workout stuff, and I know he's looking to get more here in the future, because we found a good place to get some from. And, you know, if this wall isn't here, maybe it'll give a little bit more space, or maybe it'll give some airflow from the window. I don't know, but we'll see. Obviously the lighting in here is the LED stuff. Yeah, so that is that. Over here I still need to put this outlet together. Just a thing that needs to be done. I just haven't done it yet. Wouldn't be hard to do. Like I said, just need to do it. So I think what I'll do first is get the vehicle out of here, just so we have some space, and see what I want to start with. Got the cheapo shop light moved over here. Of course it's dark here now naturally because the white wall isn't lit up, but that'll change. I'm sure we'll find something to put there. But this is better over here. That way when you come in the door, you have light over here. And if you're working on something in this area, at least you have light. So next part, we're gonna put the shop light here. Looks just like those two, exact same thing. And we'll get that up. I know I've said before, but the quality of these fixtures is absolutely amazing. Like, they just put all the time into high quality parts, but obviously that's not a thing anymore. Here's the ballasts, same ballast as the other ones. And interestingly enough, they give you a green chain for this one. The other ones just had a regular uncoated or uncolored chain, and for whatever reason they give you a green one here. So obviously we won't be using that, we'll just mount the channel to the joist. But yeah, and there's the sticker again. I must say, it's much better having a light over here. As there was one before, obviously. It's on this board over here, but obviously that got moved over here all by itself. So, same exact thing as these two here. Oh, you can't even see it because it won't focus on anything. But same exact light. And we obviously got a speck of dust or something on the screen. I'll clean that off. But yeah, we got that moved. And this over here. So the next thing, I'll either tackle this wall or maybe something else. I'm not sure yet. One piece has come down. Boy, it was hard to find the screws for this one. They really covered them up good. And here's their typical, let's fill everything with foam. You know, if you know, instead of cutting the pieces correctly or anything, let's just, you know, fill it with foam. And what this tells me too is this isn't even to the ceiling correctly. I mean, there has to be a gap unless there's two 2x4s holding this thing up. Obviously the lumber is nice, but that's ridiculous. Look at that. What in the world is that? Yeah, that's supporting everything. Obviously this isn't a load-bearing wall. This is supporting all the load. This was just added. And I don't even know why, because it's this room, you know, sure it's a room, but yeah, we're gonna continue on, I suppose. Okay, so I just had to pause for a minute, because once I got this last piece down, I just had such a big smile on my face, because this looks really good. Look, it just is like two separate areas, but I finally have a window. I have the window back in the garage. This is awesome. We could get a breeze through here and everything. And it just looks so much more open. Sure, it's still a dedicated space, and I will leave this wall over here because it separates the two, but this is such a big difference. Of course, I just have, you know, the pieces down. Now, how I take down drywall, I don't smash it like you see in the, you know, TV shows and whatnot. That makes a huge mess. Just find where the screws are and take it out. And then once you get the one side down, you know, just take a crowbar and put it in between the studs here and just pop the little screws out, and it works really good. And it leaves a very minimal mess. But yes, I have a window. So this is really cool. I'm going to continue. I only got one more piece done, but I wanted to pause again just to show that this is obviously not a load-bearing wall. They just filled the top with foam. But the one thing that's interesting here is that, well, first of all, they use these giant Phillips screws, which I've seen in other places. So obviously this was all done by the same person. Would be my guess anyway. Yeah, that isn't load-bearing anything. And, oh, the other thing is that they must be nailed in or screwed in from the ends. So this has to be a solid wall. But what I mean by that is they didn't, what do they call it, toe nail it in at an angle like they did with the wall there. This one has to be done from the other side. So obviously, you know, I want to keep this lumber So we're gonna take it all down in one piece and take those screws out. But we got one more piece to go. And the wall is finally gone. Well, this is another day, and I really just got caught up in projects and going places and mowing the lawn. After the last clip that we had where I think it was I just had one piece left. And then my friend came down and we took down the framed wall here, and they framed it a little differently than before. They actually nailed it in from the ends instead of toenailing it like the other wall that was here. So of course I took all those nails out and saved the lumber that is here. All the drywall went with the other drywall outside for the moment. So yes, now we have a very wide open space, and this is wonderful. It feels so much better in here. Feeling so open just makes everything feel much bigger. I'm really enjoying this. So, yeah, that is that area. What else happened yesterday? Well, I picked this thing up. I've seen this thing at the Restore for a while. It's been there for a couple weeks or more. And the reason I never originally picked it up is the end things are plastic. The lamp holders, this whole thing, it's plastic. The plungers are plastic. This whole thing's just plastic, and it feels so chintzy. But the rest of the fixture is all metal, and quite thick metal for at that, I suppose. And very interesting that they chose such plastic ends and such a you know, for the rest of the fixture to be so well or so good. So obviously it has two pins, so it's either T12 or T8. And here's the tiny little ballast in this thing. It's just some basic Philips Advance ballast for F32T8 bulbs. This is all the stickers for the fixture. The only thing that's so weird about this is there's no manufacturer. Unless somebody can read one, I just haven't noticed it yet. Just says fluorescent luminaire. Boy, it would be better if I didn't film my hand. Wouldn't that be nice? But this is the stickers for it. I don't know if the E77682 is a model or something. But, yeah, made in 2014 it looks like. And the cover here I scratched all up, but I got some touch-up paint. We use a little touch-up paint stuff at work, so I decided to go out and get some for my own little projects, and it works real well. You can see some of the paint or something coming off there, kind of where they punched the holes. But this just sits on here naturally. And I only have one other fixture with the little plunger sockets. Of course, this end is stationary. And it's a much older one. Very high quality. It's at my parents' house. It has green fluorescent bulbs in it currently, I do believe. But it doesn't have a reflector. It's just the fixture with the end sockets like this. So yeah, pick that up. Here's the end plates and the little holders and everything. Brand new, never used. But if we go over here, so this is the box. There's still no manufacturer on it. It just tells you the steps on how to put it together. And then of course you have a warning about HO, VHO, and SHO. It's just high output, very high output, and super high output. Fixtures need more space because they get hot. I don't see anything here that says a manufacturer. There's nothing on the end. At least there may have been something, but it's all ripped off now. And on the other end, it's just some warning labels. So maybe there's a manufacturer on the one end and somebody ripped it off. I have no idea. So I'm not sure who made this thing. It didn't have a price on it, but they gave it to me for $12. I didn't really want to go any higher than 10, but whatever. I felt like I could put it here where the wall used to be. Obviously find a new home for this guy. And that'll provide a nice light for this area now. My friend that has all the workout stuff is planning on getting more for the area now that's more open. So yeah, that was pretty much the only thing I found yesterday. I didn't find anything else. But we'll get this put up and see what it looks like. The unknown fluorescent fixture has been installed. And of course looks kind of funny having the T8 bulbs in it, but that's a pretty common sight nowadays, except for the things that have all been turned LED. It starts up pretty good. These are used bulbs that I've had sitting around, so nothing too special there. They're just some Sylvanias. It is wired into the main switch for the garage, so it is controlled with all the other lights. There, now it kind of focused a little better. We can walk over here. That fan is another topic here in a moment. You can see what that looks like. It does have a little bit of uplight from the little holes that it has in it. Provides a nice little effect. The little strip light or under cabinet light thing there I'll move somewhere else. And then something should go over here. Haven't really decided what yet. I keep thinking like the track light. I've moved that thing a whole bunch of times. But if it went there, then it can be directed places. But we'll see. And then the other thing is the ceiling fan. And the issue with it is the fact that this blade here has separated. As you can see, it has totally separated, and the insert here is falling out. So either I'll take the fan down and find something different, or I'll convert it to 4-blade, because I do believe it can do that. It has the holes there for it. But I'm not sure. We'll see. It is nice to have a fan in the workout area here. Maybe in a different spot, but yeah, we'll see what to do with this, because this is no good. That will fly around and maybe something would happen, so that's not the exact thing that we want to happen, obviously. Other than that, that needs to be done. I installed a power strip over here to try to organize some of these wires from this outlet to give them a different spot so that this fan can actually be used, because before there was wires hanging here because I didn't have the time to do anything about it, and it was just way too cold out here, to be honest. So the next step is something to do with the ceiling fan, and I have some boxes. Okay, so there's a couple things that I think need to be addressed, and these all have been brought up because of this ceiling fan that is separating its blades. So, what are the couple things that I think need to be addressed and changed? Well, first of all, while the ceiling fan has done its job, it's going to be in the way. As my friend roommate, he's going to be obtaining a one of those things that holds your weightlifting bar, because I can't think of words today. And that thing's quite tall. And it also has a pull-up bar on it, so you're obviously going to need headroom before you hit your head on the ceiling, because it's not exactly that tall in here, but it is slightly taller than upstairs, for example. So anyway, obviously he was thinking about putting it kind of like here. So what's in the way isn't really the light. The light's low profile, and that's all good and happy. But the fan is, especially if you are working out or whatever. And I don't know, I'm not a professional at doing this, you know, but if you lift your hand up too high, it's definitely going to get hit by the blades on the fan. Now this fan has definitely seen better days, so I'm not too sad about getting rid of it. But something, a fan of some sort definitely needs to be here. So the idea comes up, what exactly should go here? Well, it needs to be really low profile, and after much thinking, it can't really be in the middle anymore because of the equipment that will be here. So a small fan off to the side, or two of them, is the solution that I could think of. So I was thinking of moving either this one or the other one that's over here into the workout area. I was thinking one could go in one corner and another can go in the opposite corner, and this keeps them tucked away while still circulating air. It could go in this corner and that corner, doesn't matter, but just away from the middle of the room. I don't think the light will have to be moved, because the thing sticks out far enough, it should be fine, but this fan definitely will be in the way. And of course this is the original light for the room, and that's fine, that'll stay there. Maybe I'll put a different bulb in it or something, but we'll let it be. So, if I end up moving one of these fans into that area, it's going to look odd. We're going to have one instead of two over here now. Well, I could put this thing up, but I think this thing is too nice to be out in the garage, especially being brand new. So, why not move this guy? He's a little low to begin with. The lowest fan out here, I'd say for sure. Well, where would we move him to? The first thing that comes to my mind is, well, he needs to be higher, because right now it's a little too low, and anything that would help bring up its height would be awesome. So, I was thinking I can use a 2x4 and put it across the joists here and put it in between. Well, we have this light in the middle, so it's going to have to go in between these two, or these two, somewhere kind of like right here. And, we need to just keep it away from the light, because I don't want to move that again. I've moved that plenty of times. It can't go right here, because we got that light right there, and I really want that there. Can't go much over here because of the shelving. But then we have this one here. This isn't the one that I want to put over there. I want to use the two matching, what do they call these things? Lagunas? SMC Lagunas. The two matching ones can go over there. Because this one is a little more sentimental value to me in case this gets hit with a weight. When working out, it's not that big of a loss in my mind. Where this thing was my father's, and he used it in his garage above his wood stove until we obtained a different fan to replace it that was much more powerful. So this one has more sentimental value to me, even though it's not exactly the coolest thing in the world, but I'm very happy to have it. Anyway, enough about that. So, what are we going to do? Well, I think the first thing that has to be done is we just need to take this thing down and be done with it. After that, I will take down this one and find a place for it over there. After that, this one will get moved over here. And then our heat fan will get moved over in this area somewhere. So it should all work out when it's all done. And it should bring that fan up a little higher too, which is what I'm looking for. I want to try to keep it as much that way as possible. But of course you do that and then it's in the way of getting things up and down from up there. So we'll see how I do it. And it might be something that can easily be moved if I need to get things up and down from up there. So again, I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. But for sure, we got to get rid of this guy and put some different fans over there. Now I'm not too worried about moving this one. I did want something in this area, but the problem is, the fan covers up the light a little bit. So every time it spins, you get a shutter effect as it goes around. I tried to combat that by putting this light here, but that doesn't exactly work because it's still doing the effect. I'm still going to leave this light here. I think it's a good spot for it. It's kind of unique where it is. So it's going to stay there for the moment. Yeah, so I think we'll go ahead and take this thing down and go from there. No more heritage. It's all down here in pieces now. And you can see the little piece that fell out there. But it'll definitely open up this middle area. And there's the motor. That cover isn't even the right cover for it, obviously. I'll show you what it is here. Nothing too amazing. It did the job back in the day. It had a light kit on it when I originally obtained it. I got rid of the light kit, could never find a cover for it, but I found this. It was pretty close. Obviously not the right size. I'll see what kind of parts I can get off of it, and I think that'll be the end of it, unfortunately. So, we'll get this box down and the wire and move on to another one. Doesn't look too bad in the corner. In fact, it's probably a good spot for it because I'm sure something will be put there and you won't really be reaching up right there to hit it. So that'll work good to circulate some air. Now, for moving the second one over in this area, I think this would be a good spot for it. Kind of universal open area right across from this one. Of course, this light's already here. So it'll probably end up somewhere around here because it'll probably be too close to the wall. Probably about the same beam that the light is on. So probably about here is where it will end up. And then we still need to find something to put in this little nook here. So yeah, its friend has been installed as well. So now we have one over in that corner and one in this corner, and it does look incredibly close to this light. I was originally going to move this light, but I've decided against it, at least for the moment. But no matter what you do, you can't get it to hit it. So it looks really close, but it won't hit it. I want to get a different cord for it so it'll reach where I want it to go. But then it'll give two. It'll give two for circulation. You can have one pushing air up and one pushing air down to get some type of circulation going on. But that should work good, and it's out of the middle of the room, so it's out of the way of doing whatever. So now we need to address the fact that this camera never focuses on anything, and that this Emerson heat fan needs to find a new home because this one's all by its lonesome over here now. So we're gonna find it a new spot, and first I'm gonna move this one, and then we'll try some things out with where to position the heat fan. And now the heat fan is over here, which I think is a better spot for it actually, because it does lift it up higher. Now it's the same height as this light, so it's not hanging any lower, which is good, because it was low before, obviously, hanging here in the middle. But this gives more area for random little lights that can be put. Obviously this is in the way of getting up there, but thankfully it's on this board. You just unscrew it, turn the board sideways, and you can take the whole thing down at once. And then you can, get up here or wherever without it being in the way. So it definitely has an easy way of moving it. So it works well there. I'm actually really happy with that, mostly because it brought it up higher. So now we have this little guy, and let's see, you show a little sticker on it there. It's also a Heritage. And I'm thinking of putting it here where the track lighting is. Why? Well, it's the furthest point away from there that isn't in the way of the garage door, and will circulate air over here, I suppose. And that's okay. It gives me another reason to move this track light somewhere else. So we're going to do that.